Legacy Wealth Advisors. We host a show on the weekend called When Retirement Happens, because retirement is going to happen. Are you ready? Kevin Lloyd from When Retirement Happens. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Kelly and McGraw.
Hi, Kevin.
We're doing good. Happy opening day to you and your family and the office out there. Let's talk about the stock market over the last 10 years, because the stock market's been somewhat volatile recently. What are your thoughts as you sit and watch what's going on here?
Well, I think it really comes down to, McGraw, that we actually have to have a plan, because the accumulation phase, as we're saving money getting to retirement, is completely different for somebody that is now in the distribution phase, using those retirement dollars to live on. And I think we get confused by average rates of returns versus real rates of return. And like for example, let's say somebody's in accumulation phase, and in 2008, at the beginning of the year, they started with $1 million. They're not taking out any money. That first year in 2008, the market was down 37%. That account would have fallen to $630,000. But from then to today, at the end of last year, that would have grown to $2.26 million from 2008, January 1 till today. So the account would have a little bit more than doubled. But it's different on the distribution phase, because if someone started with $1 million, let's say they wanted 4%, $40,000 out of that account, but they wanted a cost of living adjustment each year. The average is 4%. So let's say we start with that $1 million. That first year in 2008, my $1 million, it fell to $590,000 because I'm taking distributions. Now, from that point, I would have grown back my money, and it would have been $1.34 million in the account. But look at the difference. I had $2.26 million in the accumulation phase, but I only got $1.34 million in the distribution phase. So the amount of money I have is about almost half. But if you look at the average rates of return for the stock market from 2008 to today, which went like this. It was a negative 37, and then the rest of the next 9 years was all positive: 26, 15, 2, 16, 32, 14, 1, 12, 22%. The average rate of return for the market during that time period was about 10%, okay? But we can't spend average rates of return.
Right.
If we look at that person that grew their money in 2008 from $1 million to $2.26 million, their rate of return was 5.6%. See, it's different. Your average rate of return was 10, okay? But your actual rate of return was only 5.6%. Now, that person that was taking distributions, and this is why it's so different and that we have to have a plan, the person that was taking distribution, you know what their average rate of return was?
No idea.
2.5%.
Because they were taking money out.
They were taking money out, but that person and the accumulation person, they were invested in the exact same thing. We'll just say it was the S&P 500, because that was the returns that I gave. They had the exact same dollar amount, the exact same rate of return every single year, invested in the exact same thing. The only difference is one got 5.6, the other got 2.5%. It's because they're taking money out of the account. But let's say, McGraw, that 2018, we have a bad year in the market, and it looks like 2008 again. My account, if I was in the accumulation phase, not taking any money out, would have fallen from $2.26 million to $1.42 million. My distribution person taking money out, their $1.3 million would have fallen to $787,000 if we would lost 37% like 2008. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is that we have to have a plan.
Right.
We have to be efficient with the way we're investing money. But that 4% person taking that withdrawal out of their account, that 4% draw is no longer 4%.
So
now it's 7.5%.
So, Kevin,
how sustainable is that?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I was jumping on you, but you go over this with your tax classes, right?
We go over everything with our tax classes, but the thing is it's different in retirement. That's what I'm really trying to instill with people. Now, what if I told you that account that went down to $787,000 because of distribution over that time frame didn't actually go to 787 because they had a tax plan to reduce the taxes so they didn't have to take out as much, and so then they still have their $1 million left.
Aha.
We're going to talk about that this weekend.
Aha. So with the distribution, you've set up the tax deal so the government's not taking your taxes. Ultimately, you have more money in your account when it's all said and done.
Correct, which we know that if we're paying less in tax, we have more money in our own pocket than we were putting into the government's pocket. And I don't know about you, I want to control my taxes in retirement. I want to help my clients control taxes in retirement. That's why we have the workshop, to help people see what a real financial planner looks like, not a fake financial planner.
And that's why taxes in retirement are different, because if you're in the accumulation phase, you're not really worried about taxes, but when you retire, you should be. Aha. Plot thickens.
Absolutely.
All right. So you've got, when's the next tax seminar?
You know, I set up another tax seminar. It's already half full, and I just announced it last week. It's May 9th. It's at 6 p.m., just like every other one, here at my office at 40 and 141. We can sign up by just going to the website or calling my office.
Beautiful. And then our show on the weekend, When Retirement Happens, 314-641-1010, or the website, When Retirement Happens. Kevin, good work. And
Thank you.
Good to have you back. We'll see you soon. 8:45.